Okay, so welcome back to the channel, everybody. We've got a new training aid to review for you today, and I think many of us will always strive to get that compression, that ball turf strike, that control the dynamic loft to increase your golf shots and improve your quality and your consistency of your ball striking. So this new aid, this Tour Striker Power Click, simple little aid, we're going to take you through it, how it could possibly benefit you, and hopefully it'll make you play better golf. Okay, so we all desire to have that real crisp strike of that iron, don't we? That ball turf, control off, that real nice penetrating ball flight. And of course, most of us would all love to hit that ball a little bit further. What we do with our lead wrist is really important because obviously that then controls the club face position. And through my coaching, I see so many golfers will get this left or this lead wrist position in like a cupped position. Okay, so if I stand this way to you, you can see how that left wrist now is very cupped. That really opens the club face and obviously then creates inconsistency of strike, but also that glancing blow, and it just robs us of distance and power. But when you're practicing it and trying to be aware of what that wrist is doing at a part of the golf swing which you're never really going to see, it's difficult to get that feel, have I got that in that right position? So this is a great way of getting feedback, and this is where I'm a big fan of training aids. It's all about giving you feedback. We know feel and real can be two very different things when we're practicing, and sometimes it can be quite misleading if we're on our own, away maybe from your golf coach. So things like this will help you in those practice sessions where you just need to get that feedback is knowing what that lead wrist is doing and is it in the right position. Okay, so what we're going to do here, we're just going to place this on our lead wrist, and you can actually place this on your trail wrist as well. It does the same sort of thing, but obviously with your trail wrist. But I think probably use this on your lead wrist is probably a good one to really sort of start on and work on. So when you lead it on that position, you've got this little plastic strip here, and obviously as you cup your wrist, you'll hear that click, okay? And that's that click, that's audio click that we're sort of really going to be interested in. So when you take your grip position, you get into your setup, we're going to have a click on that left, on that device. So getting that position, we've got that slight little cup as we start in our start position, and then as we go through the backswing, ideally we want to try and flatten that lead wrist. So as we go back, we should hear this unclick. There you go, that unclicks to get that more flatter position. So obviously, if we get to the top of the swing and we still have that sort of bow in the wrist, like so, you see it hasn't unclicked. I've got a bow, and now my club face is really open, and that's obviously going to create some weak golf shots. So if we can create that flatter left wrist, there's that unclick as that plastic strip straightens out, which is good. So we know then we start the swing, we click, we hear it unclick, we know that lead position, that lead wrist is in a really good position, and the club face is in a good, strong position as well. And then as you come down and go through that impact position, you should strike the ball, and then after the golf ball is struck, you should hear that re-click again. Okay, so that's fine. We want to allow that to click again on that way through. And for me, this is really important because it gives you its feedback. It's that sound, and then you can associate that to a feel of what that wrist is doing to then maybe hit some shots then without the aid once you've done some work on it. There is actually an 8-day protocol on the Tour Striker website that you can maybe go and follow, and it just goes through maybe pitching first on the lead wrist, then putting on the trail wrist, hitting some more pitches, and it's sort of like a gradual protocol or journey that you go through on an 8-day process. So that's worth looking at. So I'm just going to hit a couple of shots now. So let's get me grip position there. Okay, there's my click. So I've got that grip position in, and we should hear like an unclick and then a re-click on the way back through. Yeah, and that was a nice shot, nice strike. It's not something that I would really typically struggle with myself. You know, I do tend to get a descending blow on that golf ball. I think the key thing here as well is probably is being aware of where does that click on the way down. So obviously we've got a pre-click, an unclick at the top. Then obviously if we come down and we throw and cast, we're going to hear that click before impact. And we know if that happens before impact, then we've got low point issues. Yeah, we've struggled to really control that low point, tend to see a lot of fat shots hitting up on the ball with an iron. That isn't that ball turf connection. We lose a lot of power. Okay, so into that position, got my pre-click there. I'll hear it unclick.
Okay, so just looking at the TrackMan data there, you can see on that last particular shot, we've got a low point number. So 3.3A is for after impact in inches. So you can see that vertical thin orange line is where my low is indicating where my low point is in the golf swing, and then where the club head is where I've struck the golf ball. So you can clearly see I'm hitting that ball before the low point, so ultimately getting that ball turf strike, and that really helps to control your dynamic loft as well, because if we get that cupped wrist position through impact, the handle is then sort of trailing the actual head, the head's taken over, we increase our dynamic loft, and obviously that gives us some poor, weak strikes. Right, okay, so there we go. For me, a great aid, a real good one to get an understanding of your wrist positions. There's a lot of talk about wrist positions where you see sort of obviously Dustin Johnson on tour, real big sort of bowed left lead wrist positioning there, but you see many of the tour players have a flat lead wrist. You don't see many with a cupped wrist, okay, because we know we're not going to get that penetration on that ball strikes. Great little aid. I think it's something, if you want to be more aware with your grips, very simple, very lightweight, very easy to put in your golf bag, get to the range, use it visually, hearing that click, it tells you exactly what that lead wrist is doing through that golf swing. So for me, great little training aid. Go and check those out. I'll put a little link under the video to the website, Tour Striker. These are priced at about £42, I think $42. Okay, appreciate you watching the video. As always, post comments down below. Let me know if that's something of interest to you. Do you use a train aid? And if so, what are you using and why? I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you're doing in your practice routines, and hopefully we'll catch up with you all very soon.